Coming for your headstock. Alrighty then. Welcome to the new age, folks. If you're as old as I am, that's new technology. The good old headstock tuner. I wish Stompin' Tom was still around to write a song about the good old headstock tuner. Because, as we can see here, alright, so my powers of deduction lead me to the conclusion that repeated use of a headstock tuner, very much like the trusty old snarkaroo, uh-oh, dun 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 dun. I'm coming for your headstock. Used to be cigarettes. That ruined parts of your headstock. Now it's headstock tuners. This is a bit tragic. Yes, my conclusion is that sadly a headstock tuner probably did that, and since I don't really even think there's any lacquer over top of these on these blackies is all matte finish. But yeah, if I had to bet, if I were a betting man, I would say that's probably the work of a headstock tuner, because you can see that's just applied over top of the finish, and I think that's probably it. It doesn't feel like there's any finish over top of it, because you can scrape this off pretty easily. So, guess what we're doing today? And guess who we're doing it for? Hey? I'll give you 3 guesses who we're doing it for, and the first 2 don't count. Putting on a headstock decal is not new information to YouTube. This has been done. This kind of repair has appeared in multiple YouTube videos. But I thought the funny thing about this particular instance was that using a headstock tuner is probably what damaged this headstock. It's more than likely what actually damaged that headstock. So you should be able to hopefully see that's just a sticker that's been put over top of that. And we got new ones. If you go to Google right now, the very first, and type in headstock decals for Fender, the very first link on Google will be for the company that we ordered these from. They weren't very expensive. They were like maybe 15 bucks. Well, I guess that depends on what you think expensive is, but all things considered, for a guitar of this value, 15 bucks didn't seem like much of a stretch to fix something that should hopefully be pretty easy. Anyway, I'm gonna need to cut that out, and I'm gonna do my best to cut it out the way they've cut it out, otherwise it's gonna look really dodgy. If you get right up on it, you can see the outline of the sticker there. There you go. See how they've cut it? They've kind of cut it around the decal instead of just a big blob. So I'm going to attempt to do something pretty similar. Oh, this one's buried more. Yeah, this one actually seems like it's under the clear coat, whereas this one is definitely 100% on top of the clear coat. So I'm going to start by cutting mine out. Alright, so that's kind of what I'm going to go for. Now, the videos that I've seen, they tell you to cut a big blob out to make it easier to apply. But there's a reason they give you, there's a reason you get 2 decals to a pack, because they know you're going to bleep one out. So this company, oh, here we go, MPS Professional World Waterslide Decals. Cut around your decal, blah blah blah, make sure blah 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 blah, 1, 2, 3, yeah, okay. Remove the water. Place the decal in a bowl of water, takes around 30 to 40 seconds for the backing paper to start slipping away from the decal, okay, so when we're ready, we'll stick that in the water. Leave to dry overnight before handling. Apply even coats of lacquer once clear coat is dried. Yeah, okay. So those are finishing instructions. I'm not sure what, if anything, I'm gonna put over top of that. I haven't decided yet. And then we have the remaining problem, which is getting the old decal off. And the thing that leads me to believe it doesn't have any finish on it is that I'm scratching it off like a lotto scratch ticket. See, this is what leads me to believe that it doesn't have any finish on it. Because I'm going in with just my fingernail and it's coming off like a lotto scratch ticket. If it had any finish over top of it, I think it would be more difficult to get that off your headstock than that should be. Or than that is to me right now. Like this is, I'm literally with no force at all. Just exactly, this feels exactly like scratching a lottery ticket. You know those scratch tickets? I don't buy a lot of lottery tickets, but I do know what one feels like. But anyway, if you've ever scratched a lottery ticket, that's exactly what this feels like to get off. Alright, so I'm going to use a soft nylon pick to, just like butter. Nylon pick just jeepers. Alright, I wonder if a little bit of rancinol will help too. Alright, all the old residue is gone, which is great. And now that surface is super clean. We are going to put this into the water and just let it do its thing. I'm going to let that sit in there for 30 or 40 seconds. I'm going to get myself a nice clean cloth for dabbing. Plan is to put a bunch of water there. I'm not going to be shy. I'm going to put whole crap ton of water there. And then try to grab this sticker in some way. Where I can position it on the headstock. Okay, I think I did good there. Now I'm gonna dab it lightly. Christ, I don't want to touch it. All right, And that's done, just like it never happened. So we'll let that dry until tomorrow, and then it's good to go. Be exactly the same as it was when it was new. All right, so that's gonna go ahead and just sit overnight, but I mean, look at it. It looks perfect. It lines up in exactly the right spot. And if you look at it from a certain angle, see? Just like the old sticker did. That's just exactly what the old sticker did. So I reckon this is under the matte clear coat, and that never was, because I think on older guitars they weren't. So if it had any clear coat over it, it had very minimal clear coat, and I don't think it had any. Not the way I was able to scratch it off with my fingers and the rest of the lacquer all around. Like, it would have left an imprint all the way around if I had to dig into any lacquer. So I'm kind of led to believe that that's the way the sticker was. But yeah, it turned out great. And the way I cut it out, you can see there, it's totally factory. So I'm pretty pleased with that. That's basically the first time I've done that with a Waterslide Decal. So for my first time, I would say if I can do that, you can definitely do that. And so just for reference sake, we did buy these. This isn't sponsored or anything like that, but if you go Google these guys, that's where we got it. Oh, there we go. Like, we just typed in Headstock Decals and these guys were the first ones that came up. So, not very expensive, worked out absolutely fantastically. And I think if your little headstock shark came and ruined your headstock, that's probably a pretty easy fix for you. Especially if you have one of these signature style Fenders or one of the thin skin ones where that's gonna be, the case, or like a custom shop one. It's well worth the like 15 minutes that it took me to do. So anyway, hopefully that helped somebody out. Like I said, there's lots of videos online about how to do it, but as you can see there, you can restore your and the shipping was fast, so you can restore your own headstock to pretty well exactly factory looking for just a few bucks.